My guest today studied agricultural science in undergraduate. After graduation, she joined Ecobank Plc as a marketing personnel. Then she moved to Lagos Internal Revenue Service as a tax auditor. After a year in LIRS, she resigned and went to UK for a master's degree in business analysis and management. She returned to Nigeria after a program to take up an associate consultant position with Management Transformation Ltd. During her time with Management Transformation Ltd, she started a smoothie company, Lomido Fresh. In 2017, she joined Bank of Industry as a project officer. Amidat Ifedolapo Balogun, welcome to Career Turns.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
Also, audience would want to know, okay, how did your growing up, how did it go? And what are the schools you attended? What formed your formative years?
Okay. First of all, thanks for having me again. I'm so excited to be here. So growing up, I think it was exciting. I think I should say that I'm the last of the family, so you can imagine how that would be. I was the baby of the house. I had so many siblings. So I think I had a lot of people to look up to. Primary school, I attended Ave Maria Montessori Nursery and Primary School. That was fun with my sisters. After that, just imagine being the last one of the family and you are shipped all the way to Ilorin, FGC Ilorin, Federal Government College Ilorin, boarding house. So I think that was a shock for me initially, if I had to adjust. So I did 6 years there. Then after that, so I lost my dad after school. I think that's when everything kind of changed for me. But because I had a very good relationship with my father and my siblings, that I had a lot of people to look up to. So I kind of knew from a very young age that, okay, this is what I want to do. This is how I want my life to be. And this is how I think I'd say I would plan it. But, you know, at the end of the day, God plans most. So that was primary school, secondary school. So after secondary school, then went to University of Ilorin, studied agriculture. Interesting choice. Yeah, so I think that's how my life has been. Interesting, baby of the house. So I think that was interesting for me. But yeah, I learned a lot, but then also shaping me for sure. I learned a lot. I learned how to be independent at a very, very young age. And I think I learned how to be strong. So yeah, that's how it went for me.
Yeah, that's very awesome and very, very interesting at the same time. So what shaped your interest in agriculture? Why did you go to the university to study agricultural science? Why not medicine, for example, or pharmacy or engineering?
I think every parent in Nigeria wants their kids to probably study medicine or, you know, law and all that. But my dad actually wanted me to study geology. But, you know, when you apply to university, okay, so what happened was I graduated in 2003. That same year, I did this remedial, this is remedial University of Ilorin. So I did the remedial course. So I finished school in August, and I think I got the form, my mom got the form for me because she didn't want me to stay in school. And I finished that, I think 14 or 15, I can't remember. So I got the remedial course, and I actually put in for geology. My dad wanted geology for some reason, I think. Okay, because again, the first professor in geology is from Offa, and I'm from Offa. So my dad wanted me to kind of go in his ways, you understand? So I wanted to study geology, and I put in for geology. But you know, university, now when you get into university and at the end of the day, like, you know what, you're studying agriculture. Initially, I did not want agric. Because for some reason, I didn't like agric in university. You can imagine, in secondary school, I did not like agriculture. So I think agric fell on me, if I would say. So I studied agriculture, I got agriculture, and for some reason, I didn't like it at the first instance. So truthfully, I wanted to study geology, not agriculture, but life happens, and yes, so I do agriculture, and I did it. And I think I should say, so my first year in University of Ilorin, there was this thing that told us that if you don't pass very well, they'll change your department for you. So I actually intentionally didn't want to pass my first year. I wanted geology, but for some reason, at the end of the day, I didn't get it. So that's it. So I didn't want agri kind of came to me.
That's good. It is not that agricultural science is bad. Okay, it is just that for so many people, it was not the popular choice, for students back in the days, So you did agricultural science, graduated best in your class, right? And then you got into the market, you went to do banking. Why banking?
Okay, so in uni, after graduation, for some reason in my department, I think when you're done with it, when you graduate and you're the first or you're the best in your department, automatically you're meant to come back for your master's. So that was an option for me, but I didn't want that. I don't know. I think I like agriculture. I think I should say this now. It wasn't my first choice, but I think it was the right choice for me because at that time, agric wasn't attractive. In university, you want something catchy, but it wasn't attractive. But for some reason, I actually fell in love with the course. And I think that's what helped me because I graduated as the best in my class at the end of the day. But initially, I did not like that course. I just felt I'm not going to be an agric teacher. And there's this impression that agric teachers are not nice. You understand? So, but I liked it at the end of the day. It was interesting. And for some reason, so when I'm talking about when you graduate from agriculture and to get to your fifth year, if you're part of like the first 10 or first 20, they actually put you in some departments. So I was actually assigned agric economics. But I didn't want it. I wanted animal production. Like I really wanted to work with animals. I wanted to, probably have I wanted to work physically. I wanted to have my own animals, to rear animals and all that. And the department head actually called and said, you are meant to be in agric economics department. I said, I know, but I don't want it. I actually want animal production. So my project, I dealt with, I had like 20, we had 24 animals, goats. So we had to take care of those goats. You know that kind of thing. I know university. So I used to call them my babies because I'll go to their pen, reduce their pen. That was interesting. So agric was fun at the end of the day. So after graduation, NYC, and that's I going to banking. So I said in Abuja and I got into Oceanic Bank, then now Ecobank, and that's how I got into banking. So that was when the corporate life started for me.
Oh, okay. So yeah, the story is now becoming very interesting. And you were in banking for a year. How then did you go into tax auditing? Because you changed from banking, then you went into tax auditing. How did that come about?
So banking for 1 year after NYC, I came back to Lagos because I'm based in Lagos. I came back to Lagos and started the job hunt. I tried to get into the banking sector directly because I had the experience for a year in Abuja, but for some reason it wasn't working out. So I had an opportunity to work with LIRS and I got it. Did a few tests and got into LIRS. So that's how I got into Lagos Internal Revenue Service. So it was a switch for me. It wasn't entirely because I was coming from the corporate world to like the government, the government work. I felt like, oh, I'm going to fit in here. You understand? I'm coming from the suits and the ties and we're going to offices, and I'm coming to a place where initially I thought that I'll just be dragging and this is not going to. But it was interesting for me, really. So that's how I got into tax. I got into tax because I was searching for a job. The opportunity I got was to get into LIRS, and I took it. I didn't get into tax auditing immediately, though. We had to go through like a different exam, and yeah, luckily I aced the exams and I got into tax auditing. So that's how I got into tax audit as well. Yeah, and it was fun. It was a very, very interesting.
Then how did the idea of masters in business analysis and management come about?
This is a question my mom asked me then when I selected my master's, and she thought, okay, master's would be in something related to agriculture. And I said, no, business analysis and management. She was like, how did that come? So what happened with this was I said I was very close to my dad when he was alive. And at a very young age, 5 years or 6 years or 10, I used to go to meetings with him. So I would carry his briefcase and I'll sit in the meetings with him. Just imagine, he had his own factory. He was an industrialist. Like he used to have a lot of meetings with so many people. And I love the fact that I was very young, but he would make me sit with him. So I'll sit in the meeting with him with maybe like a pencil there and a paper, just writing whatever I can remember. And that's how it started. So I think that's how this business thing came into me. Now, because I lost him at a very, very young age, I felt at that time what his business needed was an analyst. That's it. That is actually the trick. I felt, because when he died, he had a few issues and the business went down. And I felt that if he had a management consultant, if he had a business analyst, this would have happened. So for me, I felt, you know what, okay, since I grew up with him, I loved the fact that, during meetings, I loved how he used to analyze. We used to talk about a lot of things. I did not know that I was learning then, you understand, but I just knew that he would ask me questions. Just imagine a very old man asking a 7-year-old, what do you think about this? And I'll have to respond. Like, I'll really have to respond to him to say, okay, this is what I think. I'll have to give my opinion. So that kind of helped me. And I thought, okay, I have this knowledge, but I need to equip myself with the right skills. And I thought, a master's in this would help. And that's how I started business analysis and management. I had different options. I actually had business analytics and I think consulting then also, but I wanted analysis and management because I thought it was going to be like an MBA. So I would merge between that, yeah. So that's why I picked business analysis and management out of it. Why I love it right now.
Awesome. So you came back to Nigeria and you joined Management Transformation Ltd. Sorry. So what were those things that you did in Management Transformation Ltd that would say added a lot to your skill set?
Consulting is fun. You have to have a passion for helping businesses. And to be successful as a consultant, you have to have core analytic skills. You have to be able to analyze critically. So critical thinking, I think that helps a lot. As a consultant, you have to, you listen to people's point of view, but you need to have that knowledge. So I think what I learned there was the fact that there's so many businesses, you understand? So I was exposed to a lot of sectors in FMCG, oil and gas today. And the funny thing is, this week, you're working on oil and gas. The next week, you're on another project, FMCG. The next week, you're doing agriculture, you understand? So you have that vast knowledge. You actually know not everything, but when you're having a conversation with people, you have an idea about so many sectors. So I think one of the skills I learned there was it actually helped with my critical thinking skills a lot. When you see things, people can see it as A, but as a consultant, it's not just A. You have to think about, okay, A, but why is it A? Why is it not B? You understand? How can we make A plus? How can we make A? You understand? So I think that was what I learned, and that has really helped even till now. It really helped.
Awesome. And then, because it was when you were with Management Transformation that the idea of Lomita Fresh came about, right? Yeah. So how did that idea come about? What pushed you into Lomita Fresh, into starting Lomita Fresh?
Lomita Fresh, my baby. I've always been a fruit, vegetable person, right? And this goes back to my dad again. I'm sure you're wondering, I was very close to this man. Yes. So growing up, he used to take a lot of fruits and vegetables, right? And he used to take a lot of juice. So it was the first person that told me to juicing. I remember even when we were young, he would probably just take these pumpkin leaves and something and drink it up. Because he was very healthy. He was very particular about his health, and you would not see him eat things that are not, you understand? So that is how. So growing up, I'll just eat with him. My mom would make different things, and that was it. But for me, I used to make it at home. I used to just make it at home. I'll make it for my husband, for my kids. Sorry, for my husband and for my friends, just make it and serve it. I never thought about it as a business. I never thought about it as a business. It was just something I loved doing. But so after a while, you know what? You know when you're married, right? And every day you're mixing things up. And my husband was like, "You can't keep. I'm the only one that's always drinking this thing in this house. Why don't you start making it for people?" And that's how it started. So I said, "People buy it. Like I make it, but will people actually be interested in buying this?" I was like, "Yeah, let's just try it." So I started. So then I take it to my office at Management Transformation. I'll make it from home and give my colleagues, "Try this out. What do you think about this?" I'll just pour it in like random bottles and just give it to them. And that's how it started. So it was just an idea. So the first official event we had was when my son clocked 1. So I thought, you know what, okay, instead of serving the normal fizzy drinks at his first birthday, let's just serve people smoothies and juice. Let's just get their opinion. So that was how we started. So it was just an idea. I used to take it at home, make it at home. And and again, when you go to events, when you go to weddings, I notice because I don't like fizzy drinks, I'm not a fan of it. When I go to weddings and birthdays and you want to drink something, it's either the cocktails or like the fizzy drinks. So most of I just end up drinking water. And I thought, okay, why can't we start doing this for weddings? Why don't we start doing this for events? And that was how it started, just something I love doing for myself and for my family. And I thought, okay, let's just spread this. Let's take it out. And we started with empty. So I think again, as I said, as a consultant, your brain is always like your thinking is like on cloud 100 every time. You understand? People are thinking about this, but you are already going left, right, and center. So the skills I learned at MT with my mentor solution is MT. So the skills I learned at MT and my master's, that was all like, my marketing. I had to do the research, try to think about my markets, who are my competitors, you understand? So I was applying my consulting skills every time. So every step I'll take, I'll think about it critically, like what is the impact of this? How will this impact this? And that's how it started. So it was just at home gradually, and yes, and that's how Amidat first started.
You are like 6 years into this now, correct?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So in those 6 years, what would you say have been the most challenging aspect of the business for you?
Okay. First of all, we started gradually, right? We started small. And I think over the years we've grown, we took our time. So everything we did a lot of research before venturing into anything. So even before we operated from home for 5 years. So everything we're doing was from the house. Before we thought, let's move out. Initially, I was scared about making that move, like to go out. People accept us, people are accepting us right now. They don't know where we are, but opening up a place, people actually accept you. So the challenge would be, first of all, convincing people that it might not be a challenge, but it's actually better for you to take healthy meals than the other meals. Trust me, it's a big challenge for anyone in this industry because you have to convince the people. Be like, why would I buy a bottle of juice when I can drink? You understand? So that is one challenge. Then also getting our raw materials. It's a big problem. Nigeria is blessed. Nigeria is really blessed, but it's a big challenge to get our raw materials, even from like Jaws and all that. It's a big challenge. So that has always been. People, not really. For now, it's good. I think before we initially, at first, we were scared of, how do you get people to feed into your vision, and how do you get people to understand that this is our goal, this is where we're going to, you understand? But that has been good. So I think for me now, for the business now, it's been, as I said, the fear of convincing people first, raw materials, then funds. That's the major one. Funds. MSMEs, it's not easy for MSMEs to get funds, but from my knowledge as a banker now, I think we try to move around that, so to speak. So I think
Okay, awesome. And so you mentioned that it is very difficult for you to get your materials from JOS, for example. So how have you been able to, overcome that challenge?
So we plan. We always plan. So what I mean is, for example, one of our major raw materials is strawberries, and the homegrown strawberries are sweeter than the imported ones. So for a business that is into making smoothies, you want something that is nourishing and sweet at the end of the day. So for us, what we have to do is, and there's a period for strawberries. So that's from October, November till February. That's when you can get the best strawberries. When it's getting to like March, April, trust me, you don't get. It's a big problem. So what we do is we stock. So we buy a lot, then we store our store. We have like a very big storage space where we keep, and that will last. If not even before, at least for the additional 6 months, we preserve it very well. That's what we do, because we know that at the end of the day, it becomes expensive, or you have to get the imported ones, which we still get. You have to use it as well, but most times we do that. Then again, for us, I think planning is key. Getting our raw materials, even in Lagos, we have like a very good logistics team. They handle, and our procurement, they handle that for us. So it's for you as a business owner to make sure that they understand that at the end of the day, they're trying to satisfy your customers. That's key. So they have to make sure that they're on top of their game every single time. So for us, logistics, procurement, we don't joke with that. So that's the only way we can deliver to the customer, which is very important to us, and our quality doesn't change. So that's how we manage it for now, and it's working for us. It's working for us. So our storage is key. The logistics and procurement, they are always on point, always on point. So,
good to hear. So, what would you then say is the what would you say is the major reward that you have gotten from this business so far? Not financial reward at this time. I'm just saying, okay, what are the major rewards that you've gotten from the business so far?
You know, when you have a small plant, a small seed rather, and you nurture it, and you start seeing it grow, then you start seeing the flowers. That is just it. So every time I get a feedback from anybody to say, "Oh, I enjoyed your meal. I love this." You understand? That is it. That just makes me like, I get so happy, because at the end of the day, I want my customers to be satisfied. That is it. So when I get that feedback that, "Oh, I enjoyed it," and that's it. And people when you now tell them that it's actually fresh, like not preservatives, and they're more like, "Really? How?" You understand? So that is just it, because I'm seeing the business grow. I'm seeing it. That's just it. I'm just always happy. You understand? So when I walk in, or maybe when I pick up my phone and I just go on Instagram and I just see comments, it just makes me happy. Financially, not yet, of course, because they're still growing. But the fact that something that started as just a passion, something I just love doing at home, and now it's actually real business, it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. I love that, and I'm just happy with that.
Awesome. So who would you say are your primary customer? Who is your target market?
So people that I try not to target. Of course, we have that in our business plan. But for me, anyone that is just interested in changing their lifestyle, anyone that is interested in, you know what, I can actually make a change in what I eat. You understand? And that's just it. Of course, we have like the age brackets, but we also have products for babies at the end of the day. But it's just people that are, yes, maybe high net worth because of maybe the price, but at the end of the day, people that are just conscious about their health, people that just want to make a change. Those are people that we're targeting, you understand? And that doesn't mean that if anyone that's probably working on the road cannot walk into the media fish. Of course, you can get anything you want like that, you understand? But just people that are intentional about their health, intentional about what they eat, intentional about what they put into their system, that people we're targeting. At the end of the day, you see that it's everybody. But as a business, you can't just have like a wide target market. You have to focus on a particular niche, but just people that are conscious about their health. And you know, as a parent, for example, once you're conscious about your health, it will feed to your kids. And automatically you're teaching your kids. And they are also, and if they get used to that, their kids would, because I also learned from my dad, and I didn't know I was learning, I didn't. You understand? I keep saying, even till now, like no one actually sat me down and said, this is how to make juice. No. You understand? It's just something that I saw my dad doing, I loved it, and I also fell in love with it. So just imagine if he wasn't conscious about his health, then I probably wouldn't be dealing with that fish now. You understand? So that's just it. People that are conscious about their health and people that are intentional about it and also want to make a change. At the end of the day, fresh, our goal is to make sure that every home in Africa consumes at least one Bermuda fresh product in a day. And we have over 35 products.
Wow, awesome.
So it could be juices, it could be smoothies, it could be yogurts, coffee. Just make sure that you have one product in a day. That's it.
That's a big, goal. And how do you plan to achieve this goal? Because it is interesting.
It is by sticking to what we're doing now. Of course, make sure that our customers are key. At the end of the day, that's important. And we have a goal for the next 5 years. We are hoping that we open additional branches, at least 10 branches, you understand, just in Nigeria, and take it to Ghana, South Africa, you understand, let's take it around. But we also want to carry our customers along with us, because there's something I keep saying, that it's cheaper to retain existing customers, because guess what? Word of mouth, they'll be the one to market for you. You understand? So we have to make sure that as we are growing with our customers. Our customers are with us. You understand? They will spread that message to us. We will also work back end. We'll also make sure that our products remain the same. The Lomida fresh juice that of course we've improved, we've changed our products, but that quality that you probably had in 2020, 2019, still the same quality. That is key. We will always improve on it, but we'll make sure that we do not change what we do. You understand? So that is what will help us grow. We will also work back in to make sure that our plans, our strategy goals, because it's important, our marketing is key, which is what we are really working on now. Marketing is very key, to make sure that we spread it. But we have to make sure that we carry our customers with us, because they are baby, you understand? They are so key to us. So we have to make sure that that's key. So we're working back in. We have a lot of expansion plans, a lot. But there's something about us. I think I can say this. We don't, should I say, we aspire, but we don't jump. I don't know how to say that. You understand? We know where we're going to, but we're not going to rush it. We're going to be a year opening these outlets. We opened November 21st, to be a year in a few months, and it's been amazing. But we're not going to rush it. You understand? Because the foundation has to be very strong. So we're working closely to that. Hopefully, in a few years, we'll have maybe 10, 20 branches.
Awesome. So what advice would you give to anyone who is looking to start an SME in Nigeria? What are your advices for them?
First of all, you have to have passion for what you're doing, because there are so many challenges that will come, and if you don't love what you're doing, you might actually lose it. So first of all, you have to have passion for what you're doing. There has to be something that even when you're not getting the money back, you still love it. So that when you start getting the money back, it will make more sense to you, you understand? Then you have to do your research. Research is very key. You have to understand, okay, yes, it's easy to put things on paper, but it helps a lot. whatever plans you have in your head, put it down and try to structure it. Do your research. Make sure that, yes, there's hardly any business now that someone hasn't tried before. You understand? Someone have tried something before. So you have to make sure that you do your research. Google is there. Trust me. Do your research. Be passionate about what you want to venture into. Then, if you're starting, it might not be easy to get funds, but if there are so many ways to get funds, you can raise your funds without even starting with like getting a loan, because that you have to pay back the loan at the end of the day. So you have to do your research, make sure that you get your facts and figures down. Then make sure that you try to, solicit for funds from family and friends. It will be easy, and make sure you have a very strong foundation with your people, because you can't do it alone. Trust me, they are the ones that will carry that goal with you. They will carry that vision with you. So make sure you start with getting the right people, and to get the right people, you have to look internally. So who am I? Would anyone want to work with me as a person? You understand? If people would work with you as a person, then trust me, they will want to work for you. And that will make it easy at the end of the day, yes. It might not be easy initially, maybe a lot of sleepless nights. Trust me, there's still sleepless nights. There will always be sleepless nights. But you have to make sure, you have to be ready for it. It is, at the end of the day, to be worth it. Don't think about the money yet. No, not initially. Later, it will start coming in. But first, you have to put the hard work in.
You mentioned something. You said you have to check yourself from the inside to decide the kind of people that might want to work with you. So how did you look inward and say, this is the kind of person I am, and probably these are the kind of people that might want to work with me? How do you make that decision?
So you have to look at your good side and your bad side. And you have to make sure that you have to look at your strengths and your weaknesses. Because guess what? Your weaknesses, when you identify a kind of person, okay, I'm someone that when I have the idea, I'm always like, let's get it done. But guess what? I need to have someone that will say, okay, let's get it done. How do we get it done? Then I take a step back. You understand? Then I look at, okay, you know what? Okay, let's take it down. Because sometimes, as if you are the one with the idea, trust me, there's so many things, you're already strategizing, you're already thinking that to do it this way, do it that way, do it that way. But you need a team that will say, okay, yes, you have to do it that way. Why don't you take a step back? And, let's write it down. You might have everything here. Let's write it down. Now let's identify, how do we get to this point? From point A to point B. They start thinking, okay, I need someone that is very strong with communication, for example. I need someone that also has that vision, but also is probably better than me when it comes to negotiation. You understand? So when you are recruiting, you are looking at people that, some might have the same strength as you, but some might be stronger than you in some point, which is a plus for you at the end of the day. You understand? So that is very key. You look at yourself, you think, okay, someone like me, I put a lot of things here, right? And I'm always thinking about, okay, I have so many ideas in my head, but I need a team that would say, okay, now let's have a meeting. You have said 1 million things. Now let's put it down in paper. How do we achieve it? You understand? So when my manager just calls me, I have to say, okay. So I go to the meeting, my paper and bio, like, okay, what are my to-do list? You understand? Because I have them here, but she probably be someone that would say, you have them here, but how do we now arrange it? How do we achieve it? Then I come back to say, okay, we do this way. You understand? So you have to look at that. So you have to have someone that, you have to have a team that at the end of the day, everything is all encompassing. You understand? And again, for me too, as I said, the kind of person I am, because sometimes I think my brain thinks faster than my body sometimes, right? My husband is someone that helps to bring everything down to paper to say, okay, you understand? So I also have that support system. So he also comes in as the CEO, you understand, as the chairman to say, okay, let's strategize, these are the plans. So have that kind of support team around you to help your goal. So look at yourself inside, look at your strengths and your weaknesses. I've identified I know my, trust me, and we are still employing. You understand? We are still recruiting people, but when we recruit people, we look at people that you also identify their strengths, and you also look at, okay, how will they feed into that? Because at the end of the day, that goal is important. You understand? That goal is important. Where you're going to, people that will carry that vision with you, and yeah. So that's what I do internally. I think it's been working for us so far. And yeah, I think it's key like that. It's key.
Awesome. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. Okay.
Thank you.
And we wish you and Amidat Fresh all the best going forward. And hopefully we will come back sometime in future to have another round with you to see how you guys are going with your expansion plan, and how have you been, to see how you've been able to achieve the goals you have set for the business.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much for your time.
I'll be thinking about, we have 10 branches in this, that. That'll be so interesting. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you, Ife. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.